My name is Todd Crapper.
My name is Nick Dume.
And we are here to play some High Plains Samurai. Alrighty then. And I got some good news for you before we actually start off with the rest of this. Is because as an innocent pawn, you defended your honor when the three watchdogs from the previous scene came to attack you and assumed that you were nothing more than just an old farmer. And the fact that you wiped the floor with them, that means that you're able to use your perk, and 3 times in this scene until you regain your honor again, you will have 3 +1 flat bonuses to use.
Okay, that sounds handy.
All right, here we go. So the scene's goal, this is going to be the final scene, and this is basically where Grandfather has sent Rhino to finish off the job. So what potentials and resources are you going to use in this scene?
Well, I think I'm going to use my patience, which is a D6, my shooting, which is a D8, and my Muay Thai because, hey, look, I might get a little bit rusty with that Rhino character. My resources are my trusty precog, a hunting knife, and my 6 shooters.
Okay, here we go. So I'm going to start with the opening shot. When we last left off, we had the overhead shot of Lou basically looking over the 3 watchdogs that he had just defeated. It's still that same shot, but all of a sudden, we quick cut over to the far barn wall exploding as this lone figure all of a sudden comes barreling through and is charging directly right over towards Lou. And there's like bits of wood and debris, and there's now the outside sandstorm that is starting to come into this barn. And I'm gonna pass it right over. Lou, you're the one who's actually gonna start the scene off.
Okay.
What's he gonna do?
Well, his precog, I'm going to use my shooting because, hey, look, I'm not done yet. This guy's going to explode to the wall.
And black and white haze, I see the far barn wall disintegrate and a tumbling black and white figure running through.
Lou's going to step out of the way at the last second, so the Rhino runs right by.
Okay.
All right. So
I don't think there's any dice roll required for that because that works totally fine for me.
All right.
Because technically the Rhino has not actually had a chance to attack yet.
No. Could have not.
Is there anything else? You definitely have a couple of other details that you can add to that.
Well, he's going to step back and hopefully hide behind some cover. So he's not in plain view, maybe hiding from the Rhino for a quick second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
I have some words to use with him.
So you're going to use it to gain some cover. Yeah, and then sure enough, the outcome to that is that, and then as soon as that happens, and all of a sudden this large figure all of a sudden stops and almost kind of like barrels right into the open barn doors, but instead actually kind of grabs one of the barn doors and rips it right off the hinge, and then takes it and throws it over across to the other side of the barn. And it then smashes over into a support column, and then that actually takes one of the upper levels of the barn and knocks it down, which is actually on the same side that Lou is now hiding along. But what that does is that actually kind of adds to the cover. So now there's just this mess, and now there's kind of dust and everything kicking up, and now
maybe a little fire from those lamps hanging on the wall.
Oh, that's true. There were also lamps hanging on the wall. Wow. So those then fall down, and a small fire begins to erupt in a couple of places along the one side of the barn.
All right.
And now that we have a chance to get a look at this figure, we actually see that it is a very large man, like maybe 7 feet tall, in a very well-dressed kind of 1800s looking kind of a suit. He's got suspenders that are connected to these very nice dress pants of his, and on the top of his head is a bowler hat that looks like it's just barely able to fit him. He's got like just like a little, he's got a long handlebar mustache, and he literally looks like a gentleman piano player who'd be playing in some kind of a tavern. But instead, he's like this huge rippled guy who looks like he's been overdoing it on steroids.
Oh, God. So it's my description now then.
Well, that was your description.
Oh, okay.
Actually.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
So now you have to pass it to the only person who's available, and that would be me. Yeah, so this guy basically kind of, stops and he's looking around at this point. There's the smoke and debris kicking up, and he's just kind of waving his face. He's actually coughing a little bit. And he stops and he looks around, and only thing that he does, and he says at first, in this really kind of thick Cockney accent, is just like,
hello. Guess who's come to pay you a visit, you wanker? What's up with that? You're not cool. You're not right. You not want to speak to your old friend Rhino. I've been mighty upset by this, I have.
and he kind of starts, pacing around and starts moving from one side of the barn to the other while he's looking for Lou. And it's like,
So when Grandfather told me that I could to come pay you a visit and show you how much you hurt my feelings, let's just say I do the job for free.
ooh, if it's two potentials, I should have declared what that would have been. I'm going to say all of this was going to be with a fierce temper. He's going to use it to roll to try and find. So he's going to try and complicate your attempt to hide from him.
All right.
Okay. So what's the difficulty going to be for him?
I'm going to be patient. I know the Rhino. I know his game. I know what he's trying to do right now. His fearsome temper is trying to bait me out. I'm going to be patient. I have a trick up my sleeve, I'm pretty sure.
All right. So sorry, difficulty 3?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So rolling a d6 versus the 3.
Oh, no.
I rolled an absolute
God.
6.
Lucky Lou.
Cannot shift.
Jeez.
So the complication that Lou is going to have is can't hide from Rhino.
Okay.
You cannot hide from Rhino until you get rid of this complication.
So, but now I get to retort with how this complication comes to be, right?
That's right.
Okay. So, obviously, he's baited me out with those words, right? He wants to have a good chin wag before he beats me to a freaking pulp right now, okay? Mm-hmm. So I come out and I'm, dusting off my revolver and making sure it looks all clean. And I look up to the Rhino and I say, hey, I've noticed you still haven't gotten those glasses, eh? I can hide if I want to. In fact, I'll show you how. And that's, I'm just standing in plain out.
That's up to that?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
That's my plain out in the open. That's patience. That was my patience round there. All right,
Nice,
so
yeah. Now, what I am going to also do with this is there have been 4 challenges that have been accumulated in this story so far.
Okay.
I'm going to spend one to make that complication last for the entire scene.
Oh, God.
So
okay.
basically, you're never getting rid of it. You're never going to hide from him, no matter how hard you try, if you want to try.
Okay.
So that's now a permanent thing. Okay, so it is now a new round, and you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let Lou go.
I'm going to go ahead and say, I know. I also know one thing with training with you a long time ago, Rhino, is your footwork isn't so nice right now. Probably getting worse in your old age. Last time I saw you were, 32, 33? You must be 40-something now. And I'm just going to start unloading, hopefully, at his feet, hopefully to hinder him from running at me.
Okay.
All right. So I'll be using my shooting, which is a die 8.
So let's see. He's, let's go with his fierce temper. So difficulty is going to be 3.
Okay. Well, I'm going to use one of those honor points that I accumulated to add a +1 to this roll here.
Oh, okay.
So I will expend 1, hopefully, to get a better roll here.
Okay.
Can I add my precog to that as well?
Yes, you definitely can.
All right. So I looking back, I knew how he trained with his footwork here. I know which way he dodges. In fact, I'd say that to go even further, that I could even not look at him and mimic his foot movement.
You know what? Hang on to that +1 and see if it's going to come in handy for you.
Oh, okay. So I could spend it.
Think of them as kind of like bonus shifting.
Oh, all right.
Without having to spend your stamina.
Okay, that's handy.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Oh, well, that's a 1.
Ooh. So let's see. So if the difficulty is actually 3,
Yeah.
if you go and spend 2 of those plus 1 flat bonuses,
It would be a 3.
that will make it 3.
All right, I might as well do that.
Okay. That still means that it's effective, but Rhino gets to choose the complication.
Okay.
You good with that?
No, can I shift it?
Yes, you can. You are at 5 stamina
Yes.
starting off the scene.
Yes, I will go down to 4. Might as well make this a little tense right now.
All right, there we go. So now it is effective, and you get to pick the complication. What will that be?
That is going to be a stumbling, I'll say.
Okay.
I'll say every time he makes an attack, or he has to get rid of this complication before he attacks.
Okay, so he doesn't have good footwork until he gets rid of this complication.
Of course.
Okay.
And for my description for what happened there, I blew off his left big toe, we'll say.
Oh!
Just pa! And his shoe curls up just like out of a Looney Tunes thing. And profuse amounts of blood pour forth from his leather shoe.
Oh!
His jackboot, we'll say. He's wearing jackboots for sure.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, there's nothing else that can possibly be added on to that. So, well, now you really pissed him off.
Hi, this is Jason from The Gauntlet. If you enjoyed this episode of Comic Strip AP, be sure to check out our YouTube channel. We have many other Comic Strip AP shows available, each organized in their own sequential playlist for easy listening. Just go to youtube.com and search for Gauntlet RPG.